Hello, my name's Graeme Storey. I am a paper conservator. I've been a paper conservator for over 30 years. I've been working for and with the National Trust for 30 years, and I've been involved in this collection here at Wightwick since 1990. The main concerns are, one is that here at Wightwick there are a lot of chalk and pastel drawings, and they are particularly sensitive to poor environments. They're particularly sensitive to damp and to warmth. So a combination of warm and damp can produce mould on them. Oil painting on a wooden panel. This is the back of the panel itself. This isn't a frame backboard, and what's lovely to see on the back here is that we've got a letter from John Everett Mealy himself. What we can see as well are that there's some quite crude nails holding the panel into the back of the frame, and they've each got a cork spacer, which gives the panel a little bit of a give. It means the frame can be a little bit bigger than the panel to give a bit of breathing space, so that should the panel expand or move slightly as environmental conditions change, then the cork can just take that expansion and compress a little bit without putting too much pressure on the panel itself. So here we've got the Eve of St Agnes by Elizabeth Siddal, with a fantastic array of labels and inscriptions on the back of the frame. The frame itself is probably original to the picture, and we've got a nice stamp from James Booley here, who is probably the frame maker for the picture. And we've got a good array of loan labels, exhibition labels, giving we can track provenance of the and ownership of the picture through that. From a conservation point of view, we've got that the frame seal on the back is broken, and we've also got a lot of old fixing holes from when the picture has been out, probably from when the picture's been out on loan and to these various exhibitions. And it's certainly an issue that we're coming across more and more at Wightwick, is that with the popularity of these pictures going out on loan, and each loan venue wanting to add their own fixings to the backs of the frames, we're really starting to see that the frames are beginning, or some of the most popular frames are beginning to weaken. And what we've got on the back of the frame here, we can see a very good example of sealing the back of the frame, so that we get a good, not necessarily airtight, because airtight isn't best, but we've got a nice enclosed environment. We've got glass at the front, we've got a good quality mount, we've got the watercolour itself, then we've got an acid-free backboard, and then this wooden back of the frame. And this practice of putting an exhibition label on the back each time it's the drawing's been loaned is one that's really died out in the last decades. I mean, since the 1960s it tends not to happen so much. But what we have here is that all of this just adds collectively to the provenance of the drawing, so that we can track through exhibition records where this drawing's been and who the owner of the drawing has been over the years. We can see as well from this that because of the label carries on over the edge of the frame here, it's probably an indicator that the frame has never been opened. Here we've got a page from a Sotheby's auction catalogue, dated March 2nd, 1966, which lists this drawing here as one of a group of 11, sold for £60, shared between Wightwick Manor, a rather unidentifiable person here, and the Ashmolean Museum, which is in Oxford. Born as a group, this is one of the ones that came here to Wightwick. The mount isn't contemporary with the drawing, and the mount certainly tallies to, it looks like a second half of the 20th century mount, and that would tally very well with the sale date and the purchase by Wightwick and the Ashmolean Museum. No, we would conserve them. The frames now, framed pictures tend to be regarded much more now as objects in their own right. It's not a drawing in a frame, and we're not just conserving the drawing, we're conserving the whole object. So we're conserving the drawing, the frame, and any extra elements, and in here we've got all of these lovely labels on the back. So yes, they would be conserved and treated as paper elements in their own right.